so many businesses try and figure out like how they should get to managed services or how they should take the steps to get to managed services. And one of Marco's like recommendations and really like the thought leadership that we bring is some of the basic questions are like, do you know what's on your business network?
Hi, I'm Kim Tant, and today we're with Marcos Shelley Caldwell to talk about when managed IT makes sense and when it doesn't. So, to start off, Shelley, what are some telltale signs that IT outsourcing would be helpful?
There are a few clear signs that outsourcing IT could be a big help for your business. If you're noticing frequent system downtimes or that technology issues are disrupting work, those are two major signals. Another one could be that your current team or team members are struggling with keeping up with the security threats, compliance updates, or the routine maintenance. It's a lot to manage. So, especially as cyber threats keep evolving. It's very difficult for in-house IT to manage all of the different pieces of technology. I guess the final thought I had is also if IT expenses are getting unpredictable. So if you see that your expenses are increasing and you want to get more control, it would certainly be a telltale time to consider outsourcing.
That leads into our next question. When we're having conversations, we hear value and then I hear the word cost. And so, when does managed IT bring more value than the service cost?
You know, um, Managed IT brings in most value when a business is facing lots of complexity in their technology needs. So, such as like the business is growing or they're scaling their operations, or they're managing security threats. It's just it's a lot. You're trying to manage a lot, and then your costs will change because of it. It's especially beneficial, in my opinion, for organizations that lack the in-house expertise to handle these challenges effectively. Like you do have to have a lot of IT talent in order to manage all the things that are on the network. And then the last thought I had, we additionally, managed IT adds significant value when businesses prioritize cost control and risk mitigation as it allows for predictable budgeting, continuous continuous support, excuse me, and just focus on the core activities without all the IT distractions. So those are really, in my opinion, where the value and the cost intersect.
So, Shelley, what's a good hypothetical example of a business situation where managed IT is like no brainer? This is the right thing for the business.
You know, Thinking about that a little bit, there can be some key things that I hear that what this is the right journey they should be going down. Um, if employees are saying that systems aren't available when they need them in the morning, or there's lots of downtime, or the network is slow. It can certainly cause a lot of culture concerns and frustration. So that would certainly be one. I would also say, managing your risk is and understanding what risk you have. It's important for a business to know like where we at with our whole security plan. And if that's not, under control or you don't feel good about it, it would be a reason to if you've had some turnover with your IT staff, or maybe it's hard to find IT staff, that could certainly be a reason your business growing itself. So, um, more towards like if you're adding a location or you're adding, even another line on your manufacturing floor or adding another location or employees. It's all part about planning and making sure you got that figured out. I would say the other part is we talked to a lot of business owners and leaders that they don't know what technology they're actually using inside the business, at least not to the in depth that we need to make sure we're putting the security layers in front of it. And then finally, the last thing is like your IT costs are increasing. Those are definitely telltale times that start to consider it or put it on your plan in terms of discussing outsourcing IT.
So, Shelley, I heard downtime is a concern. I heard security is a concern, limited IT staffing, right? Like growth. And then what was your final one that you mentioned?
Just that unclear roadmap, I would say,
Okay.
just not knowing what's on the network, in addition to your expenses increasing. That would be the final two.
And then, Shelley, I have to also ask this question. We talked about when it's a no brainer, but when is managed IT not? the best fit?
And great question. Managed services isn't for everyone in every business. If you're a startup company and you only have a small amount of users and you have a very limited amount of technology or software in your business, now you'd be able to navigate some of the technology discussions and maybe triaging with the IT issues just with a power user or someone who's able to, work through some of those challenges. I would also say if you have a well-established, high caliber IT team, that they've invested in the right tools, they have, the scale on the technology versus user support is in the right manner. That would certainly be one. And then I would finally say that the special requirements as it relates to your industry. So if you have specific software or specific technology that needs to be deployed, managed services maybe isn't the right fit because it's so verticalized or it needs to be in depth. So that would be my suggestion when it's probably not the right fit. Oh, and then last would be is if you don't have the budget to do it either, because it does become a predictable expense. So many businesses try and figure out like how they should get to managed services or how they should take the steps to get to managed services. And one of Marco's like recommendations and really like the thought leadership that we bring is some of the basic questions are like, do you know what's on your business network? So, do you have an inventory of the hardware, the software, the users, who's accessing the network? And that can be done by doing an assessment. Now, an assessment, Kim, you and I could hang out and we could ask that question. It can mean two different things to you and I, but it's where we would actually scan the network and know what's on your business network and then put together a priority plan and then figure out whether or not managed services is the right fit. So that would be my suggestion is like if you're trying to take a first step into figuring out what's the right strategy with managed services, it would be to start with a formal Marco technology assessment.